Welcome back to Math Video Tutorials, and thank you for tuning in. In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at reciprocal trig functions. To calculate the reciprocal of a number, you divide that number into 1, or you do 1 divided by that number. For example, a reciprocal of 10 would be 1 divided by 10. The reciprocal of 5 would be 1 divided by 5. And the same thing is used for the reciprocal trig function. So the reciprocal of sine, cos, and tan, you divide each function into 1, like so. And there are given names, cosec for the reciprocal of the function of sine x, sec x is the reciprocal of the function cos, and the cot x function is the reciprocal of the function tan. Therefore, applications, the reciprocal trigonometric functions will find their usefulness in the field of solving trigonometric equations, differentiation and integration. And for now, the aim of this tutorial is to find exact values of some reciprocal trig functions. So let's take a look at some examples. So we're going to take a look at this example. Cosec negative 225 degrees. All right, so I've got a unit circle here, and we need to be aware that the positive direction for trigonometry is the anti-clockwise direction. So this is our positive direction. And for the angles, of course, this is 0 degrees, this is 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and then 360 degrees. Now, what does it mean, negative 225? It means that we're moving in the opposite direction, so we're going this way. You always start from the positive x-axis, this one here. So we're going to go this way, all right, this direction. We're going to go that way, so this is 0, of course. So this will be our negative 90 degrees. This is going to be negative 180 degrees. This one will be negative 270 degrees. And then close the full circle, negative 360 degrees. We want negative 225, so we need to do first negative 180 and then add 45 to it. So it's going to be here. So if I mark it somewhere there, so that is our negative 225 degrees. It's going to be all this. The angle we want is this one only, because doing cosec negative 225 is, write it down using the regular trig function, will be sine negative 225. Now, since we know that the sine is represented by the vertical line, this one here, because this vertical line is opposite our angle there. And you can see it is exactly the same as this one here. It is in the positive part of the y-axis. And it is the same if I project it on this point here, or this part of the circle, would give me this angle 45 as well. All right, so therefore this is 45. This is also 45. So what we're saying is that this is exactly the same, if I write it down here, that the sine of negative 225 is exactly the same as sine of 45 degrees. As demonstrated in the diagram, because they have the same opposite height. What is sine 45? We know sine 45 is square root of 2 over 2. So basically what we're saying, that cosec negative 225 is equal 1 over root of 2 over 2. And then doing this is easy. You just flip it over. It will give you 2 over square root of 2. But normally you would rationalize it. So we multiply by square root of 2 numerator and denominator, and the denominator will rationalize, so we will get 2, and therefore these 2's will simplify, will cancel out, so we get square root of 2. A cosec of negative 225 is square root of 2. Let's do another example. For this example, we're going to take a look at the sec 330. We know by definition is equal to 1 over cos 330. You could do this in a calculator. If you plug in 1 over cos 330 like so as a fraction, you will get the exact value. But we're going to stick to the unit circle and we're going to place the angle 330 following the positive direction of measuring or representing angles in trigonometry on the unit circle. So my angle 330 will be in the fourth quadrant. This is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. So it will be roughly here. This is my 330 degrees and it is 30 degrees from 360. So this angle here is 30 degrees. Now if I project this point onto the x-axis, that will give me the x coordinate, which should represent the cos 330. And if I project it onto the other part or the side of the circle, so that angle is also 30 degrees. So we're gonna say cos 330 is exactly equal to or the same as cos 30 degrees. Now if you know cos 30 is square root of 3 over 2, and then you flip it over to get 2 over square root of 3, and then you rationalize this to get 2 square root of 3 over 3, and that's your answer. Next example, we're going to take a look at the cot. For our third example, we're going to look at how to find the exact value of cot negative 45. First thing we need to do is just rewrite the cot using the regular trig function, which is 1 over tan negative 45 degrees. Next, we need to position our angle. It is negative 45, so we need to go this way, opposite the positive direction of trig angles. So it's going to be somewhere here. This is negative 45. You always start from the positive x-axis. So this is our angle, negative 45. Now, before we find the value of tan negative 45, we need to work out the sign. Now, we know for the function tan, it will have positive values. In the first quadrant, it will have negative values in the second quadrant, positive values in the third quadrant, and negative values in the fourth quadrant. So we know the value will have a negative sign. Now, what is tan 45? Tan 45 is, we know it is 1. So basically the answer is 1 divided by negative 1, and therefore cot negative 45 will be negative 1. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Thank you for watching and take care.